Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you had an amazing, relaxing weekend. I'll tell you that I picked up limbs all weekend and chased around chickens to try to cut their wings, and it's not been very relaxing for me. If you have been waiting for a tutorial on video, then the wait is over, because that is exactly what we're doing today. First, I figured I'd start with a review because that seems more appropriate than to just jump right into the tutorial. So here's what we're working with today. This is the Naked Reloaded palette, and this is just an overview. So if you want a more detailed review, go check out my post. There is a cushion packaging, and then there are 12 shades inside, and you can see they're just neutral shades with a pop of pink right there. But each shade is a different size, so you're not having one size shadow inside. You can see this one's a little bit bigger than this one and a little bit bigger than that one. So they're all different sizes, and you have a nice range of light to mid-tone to deep shades in here, so you can create a cohesive look. And then there are 3 different formulas. There's mattes, metallics, and basically a shimmer formula. Now I found one dud shade, and it's right here. It's called Dreamweaver, and it's very crumbly and chunky, and it just did not work out for me. But other than that, every other shade worked very well, and swatch is really nice, and I used a lot of them to create today's look. So stay tuned, and we're gonna do the tutorial together. Okay, now we're ready for the tutorial part. I have my base on, and I did one eye, kind of. I'm not fully done with it yet, but I'm gonna zoom you in, and we're gonna get started on this eye. All right, this is super up close and personal. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do, that I always do anyway, is prime. And my favorite primer is Revlon Candid. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna try to do this. And I just put it all like that. You wanna cover your whole eye. And I just take a brush and blend it out. Okay, so the first step that we need to do is create our oval, and we're gonna take our first shade, which is Endgame, and I like to use a brush like, I use really small detailed brushes to do this, and I use one like this, just really tiny and flat like that. And all we're gonna do is start in the middle of your eye and create an oval shape all the way to your lower lash line and fill it in. Don't worry if you get fallout or anything, because we can just brush it off. If you have hooded eyes like I do, make sure you open them up and get all the creases and all that. You want to fill it all in. So that looks like about right. Alright, and then I kind of zhuzh the edges a little bit with a fluffy brush. You just kind of want to give it a little bit of a help before you go to blend it in. And this is where I can really tell if an eyeshadow is good at blending or bad. And you this one kind of in the middle a little bit. All right, so now we're right there. Then we take our next shade, and I'm going back to my small brush again, this one, and our next shade is Bucked. And then you want to go, see that harsh line we created right there, kind of? You want to go on top of that harsh line. And just put the shade right on top of that harsh line. You can build it up if you want to. These shades are pretty buildable. So now we have that. Again, fluffy blender. Blend that guy out. I have this spot right here that just doesn't take the eyeshadow, right? Here. Try to fill it in all the time. So annoying. Okay. Now we're going to take our last shade for the oval, which is Blur. Again on the small detail brush. And then go on the harsh line of the last shade and put this on that harsh line. I'm going in for some more. And then fluffy blender and blend that out. Now you just want to create, now you can take your fluffy blender and go over everything. Try to create a seamless transition as best you can. So that's where we are. Now the next step, now we gotta do our front part, and we're gonna take the shade Boundaries and go from our inner corner all the way up to the middle to meet that, what we just did. Like that. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna go over it so it's darker. I kind of like to fill it in a little bit too. Down. Just a little bit. Okay, now I take my blending brush and zhuzh the ends of that too. Oh, here's a good tip. This microfiber cloth, just go to the Dollar Tree or whatever and go get a stack of these. They're $1 and they clean your brushes so well in between shades. Now, what we're gonna do is do the high cut crease. And what I'm going to use, this is my favorite cut crease primer, the ABH eye primer. I love it. It works so good. It's so horrible seeing my face up close like this. Okay, so I just put the primer on my hand like this. This is my favorite cut crease brush. It's an actual silicone brush. So this is by Sonia Kasha, and it's for glitter, but I like it to create a cut crease. But I'm gonna just explain what to do. I start where I want the highest point, okay? So that's gonna be, I want it right there. That's about the highest I want it. And we're gonna create a semicircle. So I just do a base like that. Now I bring it down into my inner corner. Okay, now that's just the base, okay? Now you gotta fine tune it, clean it up. Okay, now I'm gonna fast forward this part, but I'll leave it on so you can see how I fine tune it. Now that's pretty good because remember we want a high cut crease. So what I always like to do next is I like to clean it up. So I take some makeup remover and a Q-tip and I just clean up all this junk underneath. All the eyeshadow, anything. That's good. Okay, so you have to let that dry a little bit. Now you should still have some primer in your hand. This is a smudger brush and it's just a tiny little detail brush again. And take some more primer and then fill in your cut crease, okay? So you should have something like that. Okay, that's where we are. Now, the fun part. I like to use this brush for my metallics, and it is a Makeup Academy brush, and there's no name on it, but it's like a little point. Oh gosh. It's flat, it's tiny, and it's got a little point to it. And we're gonna use the shade Reputation first. And I have this little spray bottle of water, and I put the shadow on my brush, spray it with some water, and then we're gonna do a diagonal. So okay, do you see the diagonal line right there? That's what we want. Just half filled in diagonal line. All right, now wipe off your brush and then go in with the shade Burn, again wet. And then fill in this other side. The middle, you can still see a line. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the two shades that we just used, Burn and Reputation, and mix them together on your brush. And then slowly blend them on that middle line so they mix together. And that's all you have to do for that. Alright, and now the edge, I go back to this fluffy blender that we were using before. And then I mix Endgame and Bucked together in the palette. And then I just stamp that on the edge to blend the cut crease into the oval. So that's what we're looking like so far. We're done with the top. Now we gotta do the bottom. All right, so for the bottom, I take a pencil brush, just one of these kind of long shape brushes, and we're gonna go into Endgame first. And we're going to go halfway, like where your pupil is, and buff that out to your outer corner. You want to match it to the top. And then the next shade you're going to take is Retro. And then buff that from the inner corner to the midpoint. And then what I did, and this is totally optional, you could take the shade Angel Fire, which is a topper, and you can put that right over the lower lash line. I just thought it looked pretty cool. Because it's like a glittering thing. I love glitter. Okay, so now we're on to brow bone and inner corner. So let's take Bribe and stick that on the inner corner. And then you can put a little on your brow bone if you like. Sometimes, especially because I'm growing out my brows, it's kind of weird looking on me. The next step is tight lining. So I use this Marc Jacobs eyeliner. This is like the best tight liner. And I just go on my top lash line. And then a nude waterline. And I'm gonna go do lashes and then I'll be back. You know something I forgot? Black liquid liner. So I put black liquid liner over the top to conceal my lash band. Okay, I am back and this is the finished look. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. As always, I wanted to give you a quick look into what to expect for this week. So we're gonna do a fashion sale unboxing, a March favorites, a shop my stash, an Easter makeup tutorial, and then another palette review, and I have 2 hauls to do, but those are just gonna be bonus videos. But that is it, and I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you on Wednesday.